Happy birthday, BeLive TV. I am Maryrose Solis with March Forward, and I am so excited to be a part of this whole online event. I know I am late in the hour for all of you East Coast folks, and Jeff, I don't even know how you are staying awake, but congratulations, because I know you've been up since 7 a.m. So happy birthday to BeLive TV. I even got myself a balloon to kind of commemorate this special day for all of you. So thank you for letting some of us experts in having done some live streaming come on and share some of our best practices, our lessons learned, and our experiences. So like I mentioned, I am Maryrose Solis, and I am with March Forward. I am a branding strategist first and foremost, but I have been doing the live streaming as soon as it was an opportunity here on Facebook. And then when BeLive came, it was just like the heaven-sent platform to allow us to do guest interviews, because as most of you know, it isn't as seamless and easy to do so using a lot of the technology and tools that are out there. So when they added that feature, it was just perfect. Everyone was just so excited, me among them, and all my clients that I work with, because I do work with women professionals, women entrepreneurs. And so they were just, we were all happy to be able to have a platform that was easy to use and get on there online and be able to share what we have to say. So with all that said, my tip, before I don't want to lose too much time here, I want to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions as well. But one of the things that I got, especially even from my own clients, and I work with a lot of women introverts. So you can imagine when you're an introvert woman, you're more or less likely to feel that you have the ability to host a live stream event. So you have a little bit of hesitation, apprehension. And so one of the things that I told them would help tremendously, or at least when I was interviewing some women introverts, women professionals, was to share, prepare them for the event, right? Don't just get them on board and expect them to ad-lib, improv, or just go with the flow. You have to prepare your guests. And I think sometimes that's the missing key point. We always prepare as the host and the interviewer, but we don't necessarily prepare our guests. And so I want to share with you guys 5 tips in which I do that in terms of making sure that my guests are just as successful as I am in the actual interview that I do. So the first one, for those of you that are in there, hey, Julia, hi, so I'm gonna see a couple of here. We got some first timers. Hello, Jen.
Uh-oh, she froze up. Let's see if I can pot her back down. She froze up, but that's good. I'm here. I'm Jeff Adams. I am the show here at BeLive.tv, and she froze up and she just completely disappeared from the broadcast. I guess, things happen during live broadcast, but I will wait for her to try to refresh and come back on the broadcast. But I will jab the jaw. Oh, there she is. Let's see. Is she there? Is she there? Are you there? She's still frozen. Try to refresh, and I'll hold it down till you get back. Okay? Try to refresh real quick. Close out and refresh. Hit the refresh button, and you should be good to go. We'll bring you back up. Yes, but you're watching the BeLive Birthday Bash. We've been going hard, partying hard since 7:30 a.m. this morning Eastern Standard Time. It's got to be 7:30. It's got to be 7:07 a.m. somewhere in the world right now, for sure. And we're going to wait for her to pop back in here in a minute, and she's going to share her 5 tips. We hope she shares her 5 tips. Don't you think she should share her 5 tips? Yes, she's going to do it. And here she is, folks, the one and only. Take it away with those 5 tips. I'm looking forward to it. Do it.
Thanks. All right. Before I get knocked out for whatever reason, sorry about that, guys. But hey, technology happens. And that's actually one of my tips. You guys are going to learn a little bit later. But the first tip, what I was mentioning, was for when you're trying to prepare your guests for success on your live interview, you want to make sure that you share and set mutual expectations and the benefits to being a part of the interview. So what I do is I send here's why I'm doing this interview, what I expect to get out of it or gain from it. And then in token, here's what I believe you too can get from it, and kind of set some assumptions and some expectations. But then ultimately I ask them, hey, so what would you like to gain from this? Are you trying to increase brand visibility? Are you trying to get your expertise out there? Are you trying to get people to sign up on email lists? So find out what those expectations are so that you guys are both under the same, same understanding. Because when you're on that interview, you want to make sure that you hit those expectations when you're on that. And then it makes your guests feel that you are really, mutually involved. You are very much considerate into what they want out of this as well. It's not just about your show, right? Number two, okay? Number two, hi, Sean. Number two, gather guest information with a short questionnaire and deliverables such as photos, bios to assist in marketing the event. So I don't do a live show event, at least if I can manage it with a guest, 2 weeks out. I make sure I have their, I give them a heads up 2 weeks out. I gather their photos. I go make some graphics because I'm a branding specialist. Thank goodness I have some graphic design skills. So I prepare all the marketing content. I put some in their brand colors. I put some in my brand colors so that they can share, similar to what BeLive TV did for us. For all of us hosts and presenters, they asked for our photos, right? And then they made sure that they put our topic within their particular marketing graphic. And so I was able to share that in preparation for this event. So same thing for you. When you are preparing your guests and you want them to feel successful and more comfortable and prepared, make sure you get some information. What's their website, right? How do you pronounce their names? And then any other things that you may need to help you better prepare and understanding what your guest is all about. Okay, so that is number two. All right. Number three, provide a sample interview script or flow for your guests to prepare themselves with. Okay, so I don't know about some of you, but you want to make sure that you give them some idea of how the flow is going to be. I have found that most beneficial. Now, I have an educator background in terms of training, and I also have a drama thespian background. So I all understand the value of scripts and flows. And so it helps. I have learned that my guests feel so much more confident, right, when I give them an idea of how I'm going to ask them questions. So I'm not just going to tell them the topic, guys. I'm actually going to get so in depth that I actually tell them, this is what I'm going to say. Welcome to the show, yada, yada. And then this is what you're going to say. And then here's where you're going to come in and tell me about where you're from. So I literally break it down and give them kind of a script flow that helps them get better prepared for the interview. And I have found that they have very much appreciated this. And so I recommend the same. All right. So that is number three. Number four, conduct a test or rehearsal with the guest, especially if they're not familiar with the platform. So most of my guests, probably a couple of months ago, never used BeLive TV. So what we did was I have a private group, and what I did was created an event, got them. We tested it either right before the show, maybe an hour or two if we're fortunate, or sometimes the day before is always nice. But I've always found that, technology happens, right? And so you've got to be best prepared. So it's good to do sometimes an hour or two before, just because you can get a sense of the Wi-Fi connectivity and whether or not you're going to have to address that. So what I have done is conducted a rehearsal of the BeLive shortly before the actual broadcast. And then I tell them what they can expect. They can't see the studio that I'm in right now, but I do share with them what I will be dealing with and what I'll be whether I'm showing comments, whether I'm going to be moving agendas around. And then they get an idea of that I'll be shifting maybe the pictures, maybe it's going to be side by side, maybe I'll be on the corner. So I really get them a feel for what the platform is like. And I also recommend that if they have another device, I have them put that on, mute it, and then place that device nearby so that they can kind of see themselves. Because sometimes what you see on your desktop is not quite what's being shown on a mobile phone or a iPad, for example. So I often do that as well. I give them some tips on that. And again, this is all I feel for me. It is always like I feel much more confident when I know what to expect, right? When I get a little bit educated on the platforms, the topic, the flow, the script. So do whatever it is you feel. I mean, don't go overboard where you overwhelm them, but sure enough, give them a little something so that they come into it with a little bit more confidence. And then number 5, prepare for technical issues. So like Jeff right there, this is a great example. We have a fantastic master host. And so if you don't expect it already doing any kind of live streaming event, then I don't know where you've been. But Tech happens, live happens, right? And so you have to be prepared for technical difficulties, and being able to just come on there, be the driver, right? Be the host that you are, and command the situation, command the context. So I have actually been praised by some of my guests at how I handled when there may have been a glitch where I froze, where they couldn't hear me, or I couldn't hear them and I lost the picture. It's really important that you prepare your guests for that. There may be some technical issues, and that's okay. We'll work through it. Nothing's going to happen. We'll make sure if it all comes to worst, we have to come off at this time, we'll get back on. You just kind of let them know that they'll be okay, because you have a sense of calm. You have a sense of preparation and confidence that whatever happens, happens, right? So very, very important. Okay, so those are 5 tips. Did you guys get that? I hope you guys did. And if you guys haven't it's so important, because the more your guest is prepared, the better they will feel, the more confident they will come across in your guest interview. So, make it happen. Number 1, share and set mutual expectations and benefits. Number 2, gather guest information with a short questionnaire and deliverables like photos and bios. Number 3, provide a sample interview and script or flow for your guests to prepare themselves with. Number 4, conduct a test. And finally, number 5, prepare them for technical difficulties. Okay? All right. Thanks again, BeLive, for letting me share some of my lessons learned and my best practices when it comes to doing guest interviews. I appreciate it.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.